Wild hogs did not arrive in Texas as a threat overnight. Their story began quietly in the late 17th century, when a handful of stray pigs wandered into the wild and disappeared into the vast landscapes of the state. For decades, their presence went largely unnoticed. Nature had other plans. Free from natural predators and blessed with an explosive reproductive cycle, those few animals multiplied into millions. Today, Texas faces an invasion of more than 2 million feral hogs, a force so destructive it causes over $500 million in agricultural and environmental damage every single year. These animals are not just pests. They are living bulldozers. With powerful snouts and relentless hunger, wild hogs tear through crops, dig up pasture land, destroy irrigation systems, and leave once fertile fields looking like war zones. Traditional control methods failed. Traps caught only a few. Fences were torn apart. Ground hunting barely slowed the population. As the crisis spiraled out of control, Texas authorities made a controversial decision. They took the battle to the sky. At precisely 4 in the afternoon, the helicopter blades roared to life. The aircraft lifted off, slicing through the air as the hunt began. From above, the scale of the invasion became terrifyingly clear. Dark shapes scattered across the land in every direction. Massive herds moved like living shadows through open fields. This was no ordinary hunt. This was population control at its most extreme. The shooter steadied his rifle as the helicopter hovered low. The engine's thunder mixed with the sharp crack of gunfire. The first shots rang out, clean and controlled. One hog fell, then another. Panic rippled the herd as survivors scattered, but escape was impossible. The helicopter surged forward, closing the distance in seconds. Precision mattered. Every movement was calculated. Every second counted. Across the fields, another aircraft circled methodically. Years of experience guided the shooter's hands. Targets appeared, vanished, and reappeared in seconds. Each time, the rifle spoke with deadly accuracy. From above, the hunt became a sweeping operation, a relentless pursuit with no safe ground left below. The goal was clear. Smaller groups could wait. What mattered were the massive herds, the breeding engines of destruction. When one was finally spotted, the helicopter dropped lower, vibrations shaking the rifle barrel. Shots had to be repeated. Aerial hunting was unforgiving, but persistence paid off. One by one, the animals collapsed beneath the churning blades of the aircraft. By nightfall, the ground below told a grim story. Yet even after countless hogs fell, the truth remained unavoidable. Against a species that reproduces faster than it can be hunted, this battle was far from over. The second phase of the operation began at first light, when the land was still wrapped in a deceptive calm. From above, the fields looked peaceful, but the scars left behind told a different story. Deep trenches carved into the soil, shattered fences, and flattened crops revealed the silent damage done overnight. This was the true cause of the invasion, a cost paid daily by farmers who watched their livelihoods disappear inch by inch. The helicopter advanced steadily over a wide stretch of open grassland. Suddenly, movement broke through the stillness. A lone wild hog burst from cover, sprinting with everything it had, hooves pounding against the earth. The pilot adjusted course instantly, dropping altitude to maintain visual contact. The shooter tracked the target through constant vibration, waiting for the right moment. A sharp burst of gunfire echoed across the field, and the animal collapsed mid-run, sliding across the dust. There was no time to slow down. Ahead, the terrain offered little cover, forcing the hogs into the open. Small groups began scattering in every direction, each trying desperately to escape. The helicopter surged forward, keeping relentless pressure. Shots rang out in rapid succession, each one precise, each one final. Bodies fell across the land. Yet even from the air, it was clear this was only a fraction of what lurked beyond sight. As the hunt continued, the team shifted tactics. Larger herds were the priority. These were the real threat, capable of destroying entire fields in a single night and reproducing at a rate that defied control. After several minutes of scanning, a dense cluster was finally spotted near the edge of cultivated land. The helicopter circled once, positioning carefully. The shooter opened fire, but the constant shake of the aircraft made accuracy a challenge. Some shots missed, others wounded. Follow-up fire was necessary to finish the task. Despite the intensity, discipline never broke. Every movement was calculated. Every decision carried weight. When ammunition ran low, the team disengaged briefly, only to return moments later with renewed focus. The sky became a place of thunder and echoes, the ground below a blur of motion and dust. By late morning, the operation transitioned back to ground pursuit. The forest offered thick cover, a stark contrast to the open fields. Here, the danger was immediate and personal. Hunting dogs were released, their barking slicing through the quiet woods. Tension built with every second of waiting. Then, without warning, a wild boar exploded from the trees, charging straight toward the hunters. The shooter reacted instantly, tracking the animal's unpredictable movement. The first shot slowed it, but failed to stop the charge. The boar stumbled, recovered, and lunged forward again. A final, controlled shot struck true, dropping the animal just meters away. The moment passed in silence, broken only by heavy breathing and distant barking. The forest revealed more threats as the team pushed deeper. Near a shallow stream, another boar attempted to flee beneath the cover of water and brush. The shot was clean, ending the escape immediately. Further uphill, dense bushes hit another target. Gunfire erupted. The boar turned, ran blindly, and collapsed after only a few steps. Hour after hour, the hunt continued without pause. Each encounter reinforced the same harsh truth. No matter how many fell, the numbers seemed endless. Victories felt temporary, almost insignificant against the relentless reproduction of the species. Yet the team pressed on, driven by the understanding that every hog removed meant one less field destroyed, one less harvest lost. The fight was far from over, but stopping now was never an option. As the day stretched toward evening, exhaustion settled in, but the mission was far from complete. The forest ahead was thicker, darker, and far more unpredictable. This was where the largest boars hid, where escape routes twisted through shadows and undergrowth. Every step forward demanded absolute focus. The dogs moved first, noses low, weaving through brush with relentless energy. Their barking echoed again, sharper this time, signaling fresh movement deeper inside the trees. Moments later, the silence shattered. A massive boar burst into cover, charging across a narrow trail with terrifying speed. Dust filled the air. Instinct took over. The shooter raised a gun, adjusted for movement, and fired. The first shot missed by inches. The second grazed his flank. The animal roared and veered sideways, still fighting, still refusing to fall. A final shot ended the charge, dropping the boar hard onto the forest floor. The danger passed, but the tension remained. The team regrouped quickly and pressed on. Tracks crisscrossed the ground, evidence that this area had been heavily used for weeks. Not far ahead, dense bushes began to shake. Multiple shapes moved at once. The dogs pushed in, forcing the boars to break cover. Gunfire followed immediately. One animal fell, then another. The rest scattered into the trees, disappearing as quickly as they appeared. Only the echoes of shots lingered in the air. As afternoon turned to dusk, the hunt reached its final phase. On a narrow road leading out of the forest, the team took position for one last push. Everyone waited in silence. Suddenly, a boar sprinted across the road, kicking up dirt and debris. The response was instant. A clean shot brought it down before it reached cover. Seconds later, another followed, meeting the same fate. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in deep orange and gold. The forest grew quiet again, as if nothing had happened. Slowly, the team made their way back, footsteps heavy, bodies warm, minds replaying every moment of the day. The hunt had delivered results. But the reality was clear. This was not an ending. It was only another chapter in a long, relentless struggle. Behind them lay fallen boars and reclaimed ground. Ahead lay countless more. Yet with every operation, every coordinated effort, the balance shifted slightly. Farmers would wait to safer fields. Crops would stand another day. And while the invasion continued, so did the fight. As darkness closed in, one truth remained certain. Tomorrow, the battle would begin again.